one before.
Yeah, you should play it more often.
I just did.
Good afternoon, how may I help
Where's
you?
Sherlock?
Right here, good sir. What is your predicament?
Well, I went to talk to Abby Sides this morning and I found him dead. The police say it's an accident, but I think it's murder.
What makes you assume that?
Well, his door was wide open and he always locks his door. He had many enemies too because he was in the directory and the consulate. He heavily supported the Third Estate, so many people hated him, especially nobles.
Didn't he write something about the Third Estate?
Yes, he wrote What is the Third Estate? It confronted the bankruptcy of the system of privilege of the old regime. It also went against the rulers of France.
How does this relate to Size's death, though?
Patience, Watson. The facts lead to the key of the mystery. So explain to Watson how Size was involved in the directory.
Well, first you might want to know the background of the directory. The National Convention created the Constitution of 1795, which ratified the directory. This started many changes to the structure of the government.
So basically, many people could have had a large motive to kill him. Tell me a little about the people's reaction when the pamphlet was published.
Okay. Well, in January of 1789,
the bourgeoisie, the peasantry, the urban and rural workers produce the nation's wealth.
The nobility disagrees.
the peasants agree.
Size originally declined to serve as a director since he disagreed with many of the aspects of the Constitution of 1795, but was elected as one later in May of 1799.
Wait, explain a little more about the directory.
There was the upper house, which was the Council of Ancients, and the lower house, which was the Council of 500. Two-thirds of the members had to be in the National Convention between 1792 and 1795.
The Council of Ancients had 250 people, and the Council of 500 had 500. But Size wasn't a part of the two-thirds because he wasn't elected until 1799 as a part of the directory, correct?
Yes, although the executive body had to consist of 5 people, which was called the Directory, which Size was a part of in 1799. This was the French version of checks and balances.
The directory had no legislative power. However, it was able to appoint positions in the government.
Okay, this makes more sense now.
The Directory is hated in France because there are many groups, like the Jacobins and Royalists, who didn't want influence in the government.
Elections were held annually as another form of checks and balances. The results of the elections were problematic because only conservatives were elected in 1795. This led to the people to believe that the election results were falsified.
Were there groups angered by election results?
Babeuf and the Jacobins were angered by the results because they wanted to bring back the politics in the Constitution of 1793.
In May of 1796, the Jacobins planned a coup and ultimately failed to fulfill their goals due to the Directory's attempt to put down the rebellion.
Did the Directory hold elections in 1797?
Yes, the Directory wanted to remain in power. However, the Directory disliked the results.
Why did the Directory dislike the results?
Many Royalists and Jacobins were elected, and 2 members of the Directory were removed from power. Because of this, the election results were annulled and a coup was on the horizon.
What were some of the policies of the Directory?
The Directory was very conservative and disliked any radical change. The Directory had a foreign policy of expansion.
What does that mean exactly?
The French wanted to expand the amount of territory they had control over. The Directory supported a large military and allowed generals like Napoleon to have more government influence. Napoleon took advantage of France's military and overthrew the Directory on November 9, 1799. This ended the Directory and brought on the new Consulate.
To do this, Size planned the coup of Prairial. This suspended the legislature and revised the Constitution. Also, the provisional government was split into 3 consuls: Napoleon, Size, and me.
A communal list was formed by the citizens who voted for 10% of their population. Then that list formed a departmental list.
From that list, another 10% was chosen to form a national list. Next, a Senate would choose the deputies.
The legislature consisted of a legislative body which could vote and a tribune discussed legislation.
After his coup, Napoleon was elected first consul. A little after that, Napoleon passed a new constitution. Napoleon later signed the Treaty of Luneville to create alliances throughout Europe.
In 1802, Napoleon declared himself first consul for life. During that year, he managed a balanced budget and created a new court system.
In the consulate, the power to draft new laws was given to the executive branch, and the legislature was given little power. In 1804, the consulate ended when Napoleon declared himself emperor.
Go.
Oh, it looks like Mr. Size's drink is ready. Here's your drink, Mr. Size.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've come to a conclusion!
Wait for it. Wait for it.
How did you figure that out, Sherlock?
It's elementary, Watson. Napoleon poisoned Size because he did not want him to gain any more power.
You ready?
Yeah.
No, I mean her.
Yeah, it's recording.
Oh, okay.
Oh!
Good afternoon. How may I help you?
Where's Watson?
Do it again.
Are you filming me?